Well, hey there team, and welcome back to the channel, and welcome back to a bit more Stationeers. So we've just got this little fella cooking away, the pipe bender. And the reason that we're getting him, apart from the fact that it's one of the, essentially the three core buildings for production, there are more advanced, you can upgrade them and get fabricators and that, but essentially those three are the core. And the pipe bender is for all things, well, hydraulic and I suppose pneumatic to a point, but it's, you know, piping. Anything that you can think of in a piping sense gets that. And so we need a vent, specifically a passive vent, which is different from this wall one that we've got going on here, because that's activatable. The other one is just a free flow vent, and we're going to need that because we have a valve system here, and these pipes actually, see there, that little, like it looks weird, doesn't it? But ultimately what that is a dead-end pipe. The way that pipes function is if you have it incomplete, then it counts as sealed on the end, which is why we've bloody done that over here, actually. That's exactly what we've done here. There you go. It looks sealed. Ooh. Why doesn't that look sealed? I think that'll be just the model and how it looks, but we should consider that sealed. So we're going to put the vent on the end for free flow. The only reason that we have the valve, to reiterate, on the furnace is because when the reaction's going off, all the gases will just free flow out the pipe. If we hypothetically we didn't have any plug or anything on the end, or we didn't have a vent on the end, so it was just a piece of pipe or nothing. Well, if it was nothing, I think it just flows out on its own. But if we put some pipe on, essentially it's a ticking time bomb. It's just going to capture everything in the little piece of pipe, and that's going to detonate. So we need a way to seal it so it doesn't get out during the reaction, but we also need a way to vent it, and that's what this is. It's basically a very simple venting system for our furnace. The words escape me. Now, someone suggested I could put like a wall heater or something like that in for this system. That's a fair point. There are a lot of things we could do to make this system pop a little bit more and a little bit more sexy, but at the end of the day, we need a bit of higher perspective. And this is just a makeshift crappy job. Like, it does the job, and we have to maintain it a bit. But as soon as you start talking about, oh, well, let's plug the doors in, let's make the system better. No. What the actual answer is that we make the next tier of system. We use actual hydroponics. Oh, that was cool. It grew while we were looking at it. We use actual correct hydroponics machines instead of the portable crappy kit. You know, so we scale that up essentially. Sort of, I guess, like how we're building a furnace to get things going. Oh, what am I doing? That doesn't go there. This goes here. So we're going to do this. We've done this dance before using the iron sheets. Look at that. We've gone through most of our iron sheets, not even from construction so much, but putting together the machines. Okay. Angle grinder. Where are you? No, wait. That's to remove it. What we need is the cable coils. And then we need the plastic sheet. Nice. And I believe it'll be a screwdriver is how it works these days. Once upon a time, you didn't have to do all these stages. You just built it one and done. But I guess the game has changed. So we'll put that little bit of cable in there. And we'll see what's going on. Now, someone suggested something interesting. I think they were talking about using a transformer to power this. But it struck me, the commenter, you can dig it up from the last video, and I'm just going off the top of my head, but they seemed very self-aware that it seemed exploitative as well. But it seems like the transformer on its own would be generating / holding enough power to power this thing, which is very strange. It probably shouldn't be doing that. The transformer shouldn't strictly have its own internal capacitance that I can understand. So they were right to point out that it would probably work to fuel this system and also probably be, well, exploitative. Yeah. But I think there was someone else suggesting something, you could do something with transformers and splitting currents and all that. And I understand that. I reckon there probably would be a better way than having a dedicated power source to that. You could probably I don't know. Anyway, it doesn't matter. I'm not going to get bogged down in it because, to be perfectly honest, that system is sound and it works fine. I'm not poo-pooing other people's suggestions. I actually really enjoy hearing other people's suggestions because that's how sort of a collaborative effort works. That's how you get better. And quite often, it's good to listen to learn. One of the greatest things I ever heard was don't listen to answer, listen to learn. Like, really think about that statement if you've never heard it before, which you probably haven't because it's not super prolific. But a lot of people listen and they think about, especially in a conversation setting, what's their response? What's their contribution to keep the rhythm going? I get that. That's the culture. That's what we've been taught to do. But if you listen strictly to learn, it's so fascinating. All you will hear are, like, you will hear more than what you normally hear what the other person's saying. Anyway, I'm not trying to bloody life lessons with Scarlett, though it always ends up that way. But what I'm sort of trying to get at is I like hearing legitimately what other people do, not necessarily because I'm going to implement it or combat it or say, like, the more traditional conversational thing would be more like I would hear what they have to say to then, I don't know, put my point against it, almost in a combative, debating sort of setting. I'm not saying, like, intentionally malicious, but it's like, hey, this is how I would do this. And a lot of people's response would be to sort of defend why they don't do that, or how their system might be better. Like, you know, it's adversarial, which I guess has its merit, but it doesn't have to be that. So I really enjoy hearing what other people have to say and suggest, if only to go, oh, that's really interesting. I hadn't thought of that. How could I implement that? And then on top of that, it's like, how could I take that away and maybe integrate that as well? It doesn't have to be a straight one-to-one implementation, but an integration where maybe I take my existing system and then I go and add on whatever it is that you're suggesting, and it turns into this hybrid. And that's essentially a synergetic outcome. Anyway, it's just a thought, you know, like, I find a lot of people don't operate that way, and to be perfectly honest, it's difficult to change gears. I try really hard to do that, but you also need, if you're sort of in the habit of just being a normal person that lives for the conversation, it's difficult to sort of intentionally force yourself to just be quiet. I'm not saying you guys, I'm talking more about myself, but just be quiet and hear what someone else has to say. And really hear it, and hear what they're trying to teach you. Anyway, I enjoy it. It's such a shame that it's not really super common. At least I don't think it is. What's with that sound effect? Jesus Christ. External. 19 degrees, and we've kind of hurt the pressure as well. But they're ready for harvest, so we'll do it. Oh, somehow I broke that potato plant. Was he not ready for harvest? Oh, I don't know. That's not the first time I've done that. Not super clear. Okay. Actually, just put these extras in there. 20 degrees, hey? Oh, okay. This will be interesting. Oh, it wasn't that cold. It was like 14 degrees inside this thing, right? So... wow, the sound for pressure sounds different. You know what? We can risk another squirt. Oh, yeah, getting close. That's all right. They can handle it. The pressure will be sound. And we'll go inward. Nice. Cool. Alright, where we at? We've plugged that in, we've done our rounds. Okay, cool. We should be able to... we'll see what's here. Airlocks, atmospherics. You know, you could predict. Hydroponics tray, that's the next level on hydroponics, right? There's the passive vent that we want. Pipe label, that's cool. We could play with some of this stuff, I suppose. Portable hydroponics is what we're using at the moment. Radiator is a big ticket item. For things like the heat transfer that we're using on the pipes, it's actually quite minimal. But as far as sort of the radiator goes, putting one radiator on one of those pipe systems, it will create a significant cooling problem because it's so efficient. I've had people in the back past go, why do you wind all the pipes around outside? It's because I'm essentially only trying to do cooling transfer to an extent. Arguably it's too cold as it is, right? Anyway, so the radiator, because of that, it's very powerful for heat regulation in general. We've got the sensor, that connector, wall cooler and wall heater, which has been talked about. The insulated pipe is new. That's cool that we don't have to research it, and that's exciting. For a lot of the experiments that I've done here on the channel, that really actually does excite me quite a bit. We're going to need to start building some new filters as well, because we've already gone through one. The pressure regulator I use for all sorts of stuff. Anyway, so it's a cool little piece of kit, but you can, like I said, I come from that sort of nautical, maritime, mechanical engineering background, so like hydraulics in general is something that's quite interesting to me and quite relevant. Anyway, we need 3 iron. Let's see. That's enough. Yes, it's very exciting because they're going to be doing spaceships soon. Apparently that's going on in the creative branch too. So people can feel free to check that out. I haven't had a look, to be honest, because I still enjoy the survival basis. I struggle in a sandbox setting. I hate being invincible and having tools because that's not a game, in my opinion. And I'm not judging, right? Because hobbies come in all different shapes and sizes. But by the strictest sense, that is not what I would call a game. Come on, please turn. Oh, there we go. I need to attach it to this. What's going to be like the cheekiest way that I could... It probably would be like that. We've got a shitload of pipes, so we should be fine. Yeah, like I think back to my uni days and all that, because I've never really had much use. I'm not a design engineer. I've never had to do any of that sort of stuff. Outside of sort of like degree levels. Like, to be perfectly honest, a lot of my work always has revolved around running a team. And I think like that sort of even project management to a point can be quite team coordination heavy. But I'm more of more maintenance is more my background, I guess, which is a very real section of the industry. But as far as design, like, I think back to my times using AutoCAD and MATLAB and all that sort of stuff and the programming. And like, as much as I understand it and enjoy it from a practical, professional perspective, geez, I would never call that a game. Making parts in CAD and all that sort of stuff, I don't know. And to me, that's the same thing as a total sandbox game where there's no objective, there's no limitation. It's all just, here's a bunch of tools and do what you want with the tools. And I'm like... Well, I'm just using AutoCAD at this point, you know, and I that's not what I want to do for a game. Absolutely not. But like I said, each to their own. And I also wonder if you don't use that sort of suite in a professional capacity, perhaps that's a box that you need ticked in your sort of personal satisfaction, and that's what draws some people because, you know, they're not fed up with it professionally, I suppose. Now the problem is with this furnace, because it's now daylight, we're not going to be able to use it because we need to if we put the what we would do to run this, because we're just sort of doing an ad hoc version, is we'll put the ores straight in there, the ice, the volatile ice and oxide to react. But the problem is, even with this amount of tiny heat, where is the thing? External, 7 degrees, they'll sublimate, right? They'll instantaneously just evaporate away. And we can't actually use them for this. We'd need captured gas, which is not something that this is rigged to do. This is just a tier 1 sort of furnace to get the ball rolling. So we're going to have to wait to nighttime before we can make steel. Steel is what we're about at the moment, right? If I recall correctly. I can't truly remember why we were going to make it, but I know that we are going to make it. Okay, cool. Many more projects to observe and get on with. It might have been to make a power controller or a better battery or something like that. That'd make sense to me. Now, the only other thing, like, actually, we'll look into battery tech, because the small battery's too small. As we sort of established before, the sort of fault in our grid, if you were to say that there is one, it's tough, right? Because at the end of the day, look, it's now tracking and charging, even though it went flat overnight. So it's kind of good enough the way it is, but if you really wanted to fix it, you would put a bigger battery in, or like another controller with another power battery, or like there's all sorts of things that you could do. But it's also in the realm of good enough. It absolutely does the job just fine. I know what I needed. It was probably because I'm trying to do the mining. Now, is the mining tech in this one? Yeah, there it is. Auto miner, small, steel, right? So that's what we're sort of hanging out for at the moment. Okay, so things are going along pretty swimmingly. Now, I guess what would we do next? Like, this is a little bit of a spanner in the works. The next would be your sort of midterm major project, which is where we've ended up with previous playthroughs, which is where we're going to build like a base. And we went really hard down the rabbit hole on sort of redundancy systems previously, because that's where my brain's at. I really enjoy that sort of engineering. We probably don't need to do it that hardcore. What we could do, you can always go back and watch those old videos. I've got bloody 50 of them out there or something. What we might do is sort of, as a counterpoint, make a base a little bit more organically. A little bit more naturally. I was gonna just say, why don't we just put the base here, right? Relative to the sun, it shouldn't matter a huge amount. I think my sort of base building theory might still stand, which is like having trying to have a centralized control room as much as possible, because there's a lot of automation that can go on in this game, and at the very least, forget all the safety systems. I really enjoyed the idea of having like a damage control system. That's not been lost on me, but we don't want to just retread old ground either. We'll put that more secondary. But generally speaking, if we could have some sort of central control point, that would go quite well, and then we could automate all sorts of stuff. You could automate production and that from that control point. And then around it, I suppose you would have buildings doing all sorts of stuff. So essentially that's sort of where I want to jump off. Now, door kits, the way it works now is I don't think there are strictly airlock kits anymore. I know that there are blast doors and there are door kits. But as far as an airlock, you could just do that, right? As long as the pressure of the base isn't too high, we should be laughing. Where would you print a door from? Like, it's got electronics, but it's also about, like, pressure manipulation too. Actually, yeah, part of me thinks I would probably say an airlock would be in here. There you go. Oh, airlock. It's actually an airlock as opposed to a door. Oh. How is that different from a door kit? Okay, because they used to give you airlocks and they stopped doing it. They just give you doors. Maybe it holds more pressure. That would make more sense. What do we need? Iron. 12 iron, 3 copper. Alright, well let's build that anyway, because it's probably good practice just to see where it's at. I kind of assumed they took the airlocks out of the game. 3 copper. Yeah, it's good to get the next project ready, I suppose. Oh, yeah, actually, you know what we do need? I'll put that in there. What we need is coal. And I think we've got some near our base. Because the sun's about to go down. We've got a tiny bit of volatile. We've got enough. One piece of volatile will be enough. Right? But if we're going to make steel, I need that coal. Jeez, I should have thought that far ahead. Lucky. We shouldn't need too much, but it's like I might as well get a 50 stack because it goes in 50 stacks. Oh man. I should look into the ground penetrating radar actually as well to assist this mining operation. Alright, well look, 40's gonna do the job. Yeah, 5 volatile is fine. Is this oxide? It is. See it just instantly goes. I don't mind, we lost a tiny bit. Worth it to try and figure it out.
Hunger, caution.
Yeah. Another thing, we should probably make a microwave to cook the potatoes. You get so much bang for your buck from microwave potatoes. At the moment we have too many potatoes almost. Like it's not a problem. Mark Watney extreme, but microwaving them makes them take like 80% hunger per potato, which is just stupid. It's so good. Now, ground penetrating radar. That just strikes me as a later level tech sort of thing. Tools. GPS systems. Tracking beacon. No. Trading fundamentals. I don't know. Ore furnace? Advanced furnace. I'm guessing that might take 3 types of metal to make some sort of... I can't be sure. Space travel systems. Unlocks kit mothership. Stellar anchor. Hang on. That shouldn't be in here. That should be in the sort of creative mode. Perhaps because I've done a custom game. That's interesting. Maybe we can build a ship in custom games. If any of you know either way, let me know, because I might bloody give that a go then. If we like that was the problem. I don't believe you could get the stellar anchor, which, as I understand, you know, when we build, it's on a grid base that is essentially locked to the planet. I think the stellar anchor creates a different build point that you can lock to. So you could hypothetically make a ship locked to that anchor. I mean, I can't see why you couldn't make cars and stuff like that doing that as well. Your mobile bases. That's the sort of missing ingredient from what I understand. Advanced logic, sorting. It won't be vehicles. Rover. Rover's so bad. Construction, furnishings. No, not gas containment. GPS systems. Mining technology 2. No, that's the Amy, which... Basic prospecting. Here we go. Ore scanner and ground penetrating radar. That's exactly it. Okay, so we'll put that on our list. Maybe that is a little bit more attainable, actually. It's only going to require that one red tech. We'll see what it requires to make it in general. Okay, cool. So our toy is ready to go. We're going to make some steel. It should be, if I recall correctly, it's a 3-to-1 ratio as far as the ores are concerned. So... let's see, what's an easy divisible sort of number? I guess we could just go 30 to 10. is probably going to be the easiest, because then, and then we'll, oh well, look, I've got actually a big stack of ore over there as well. I've got 100 iron. Jesus, but we don't want to use it all. That's the thing. We don't actually want to use it all. So what I might do is, I mean, I guess I could do 60-20. 60-20 might be the go, and we'll have a shit tin then. Yeah, let's do that. Alright, now splitting these is a bloody nightmare. Split half. 12. Right. Alright. 50, 60. Right, we're going to need 20 coal. Oh, that should be nice. Alright. Now, we're also, because people have pointed out to me I should think this far ahead. Actually, you know what? I should just cook the bloody... I was going to cook these, but we'll cook the iron as well. Stuff it. Why not? I should be able to get all of this cooked in the short time that we have. I think. No, stop. I shouldn't have bumped that. Jeez, this is a bit of a task, isn't it? Split 1. Don't. And just go the other way. Okay, cool. That's definitely sealed. We've got all our toys ready to go. Cool. So we're essentially going to put oxide and volatile in 1-to-1. That'll be enough. It's not the ideal mixture or anything like that, but it will be enough to get the reaction going. So we're going to plop these in. Come on. Come on. There we go, we got our reaction going now. Cool, alright. Come on. Produce 80 ingots, cool. Out you go. Nice, big old chunk of steel, let's go. Cook my gold, baby. Cook my iron. Look at that. And then cook my copper. Nice. Oh, hang on. What's happened there? Why did my iron ore not cook? Did I make a mistake here? It might have gotten too cold at this point. That's possible. Okay, that's fine. Interesting. I'm not that worried. I got the gold cooked, which is the big one, and you know, that'll do. Mostly we wanted the steel as well. So that's cool. What we'll do is just let that vent. Out it goes. All those sort of hot waste gases that we don't really want. And now we've got the materials that we wanted, I believe. Auto miner. Alright, so we need 15 copper, 15 iron. Oh yeah. Hey, look, you can't win them all. Oh wow, we've done that there. So that was pretty good. That worked out. I didn't actually check how much. Ah, almost. Oh, all right. Well, that's going well. I'm impressed with the ground penetrating radar being. Well, I mean, we'll wait. We'll wait and see. I'm pretty sure you can. Well, I've made it before, right? And I haven't really teched past steel and solder, so we can definitely make it. 11. How much was it again? I've forgotten. Oh. I'm gonna need 4 more copper. Oh, well, this one's definitely gonna be done.
Before I go, there is one thing I'd like. Do you have a recent case?
Yeah, absolutely.
A case, say, in the last year or two that might be of interest topic, the feature story along with the article. Something a little, you know, with a lot of excitement. You know how it's are.
Yeah, I wasn't really taking. We're just sort of eyeballing it, eh? 5 was enough, I think.
Well, I've got the time. Can I hear the story?
Perfect. So we'll get the auto minus on the cooker. And that's probably a good place to finish up the episode, and that way when we start back up, I'll remember where we're at, because we're cooking that. Team, thanks again for joining me for another one. We might just leave it there for the time being, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.